Tasting with your nose. As we all know, you smell with your nose and taste with your tongue. This is why we lick popsicles and sniff flowers instead of the other way around. But if your tongue is responsible for tasting, then why it is so hard to taste things when you have a stuffy nose? It turns out that you actually use both your tongue and your nose to taste things. Well, of course, this does not mean that you should start shoving pizza up your nostrils anytime soon. Unlike your tongue, your nose plays a part in this tasting game without ever actually touching the food itself. Sounds interesting already. Have you ever looked at your tongue in a mirror? If so, you have probably noticed that it is bummy. The bumps on your tongue are called papillae. Each one of the papillae contains hundreds of taste buds. You also have taste buds on the roof of your mouth and on your epiglottis, which is located at the top of your throat. The taste buds send messages to your brain that tell you about its basic flavor. That is, whether you're eating something salty, sweet, bitter, sour, or umami. Umami is hard to describe, but it is mostly often called a meaty or savory flavor. Foods with an umami flavor include meat broth, cheese, and soy sauce. Your mouth and tongue also have receptors that send information about things besides the basic flavors of food. Your mouth has temperature receptor cells that can tell whether food is piping hot or ice cold. Other receptors give information about the texture of food, that is, how it feels in your mouth. These receptors tell your brain whether your food is, for example, dry, crunchy, slimy, or chunky. Anyone who has ever bitten into jalapeno pepper also knows that your mouth will tell you if something is spicy. Spiciness is actually not a flavor. It is your mouth telling your brain that it is in pain. Chili peppers contains a chemical called capsaicin, which causes a burning sensation. The more capsaicin a pepper has, the more it will burn your mouth. When the pain receptors in your mouth sense a lot of capsaicin, your brain gets the message that you are eating something spicy. But just being able to tell whether you are eating is sour, cold, crunchy, or spicy is not truly tasting the food. For example, orange soda and root beer are both sweet, cold, and bubbly, but they do not taste the same. In order to get the full flavor of your food, you also need to use your sense of smell. The upper part of your nose contains special cells called olfactory receptors. They send messages about what things smell like to your brain. As you chew the food, chemicals quickly travel to the olfactory receptors in your nose. When your brain gets information from both the olfactory receptors and the taste buds, you experience the full flavor of what you're eating. So that explains when you know it's stuffed up because of a cold or allergies, you might notice that you have a hard time tasting your food. This is because your olfactory receptors are blocked. Because your olfactory receptors are not sending messages to your brain, you're not getting complete information about the flavor of your food. Your taste buds and other mouth receptors are sending messages, but not your olfactory receptors. Therefore, you should be able to identify the basic flavor of food, such as whether or not it's salty, sweet, bitter, sour, or umami, whether it is hot or cold, how spicy it is, and what kind of texture it is. Because your olfactory receptors are blocked, however, you will not know exactly what it tastes like. If you do not have a stuffy nose right now, you enter a simple experiment to understand how your olfactory sense affects the taste of your food. First, choose a type of flavor: salty, sweet, sour, bitter, or umami. Then, choose 2 or 3 foods within that type that taste different. For example, you can choose vanilla ice cream, grapes, and a piece of milk chocolate. Each of these foods has a different flavor, but they're all sweet. Hold your nose and taste each one of the foods. You should notice that you can tell that all the foods are sweet, but also that their taste similar. Next, let's let go of your nose and taste the foods again. Now that your olfactory receptors are unblocked, you should be able to notice the various flavors in all the foods. Although it seems strange to think of it this way, you know it's just as important as your tongue when it comes to tasting food. So the next time you enjoy a mouthful of something delicious, do not forget to thank your nose. Well, I have to say that this very interesting article because, well, that really makes sense because whenever I have stuffed nose, I just wonder why I just can't fully experience or taste that food, whether what and whereas my nose is not unblocked, I can fully experience that food. So yeah, it really makes sense. Okay, so let's answer the quizzes. Based on information in pair of two, we understand that the other things that. So here, I'm gonna tell you in the mirror is better to learn about how you taste food. No, it's not. The taste buds of the throat are not that important. Tasting of food, no, food does not taste very good. Most readers do not know that unami is. I think D. Yeah. According to the information in the passage, what do your olfactory receptors do? They send messages to your brain whether your food is hot or cold. No, D is not correct, so it is eliminated. How much capsaicin in your food? Oh my god, I forgot this. Olfactory. Where's the first mention of olfactory? Oh, it is. It hears. What things smell like to your brain, so to speak. Imagine that Marcel has a stuffy nose. He's eating a bowl of salty, spicy, hot chili. According to the information in the passage, even though he has a stuffy nose, Marcel should still be able to tell that the chili is salty, spicy, hot. I think it's 2 and 3. I'm not sure, but we just like salty, sweet, bitter, sour, or unami. I think it's like, oh my god, this is so weird. Hot chili. Hot and spicy, I think. Oh, it's 3 of them. Okay, whatever. As used in the penultimate next to the last paragraph, which word would the other have used in place of various different? The main purpose of the penultimate next to last paragraph is to experiment, okay? That's it. So we'll do another one because each day I would try my best to do at least 2 reading articles. So donuts, yay! As a food addict, I really love donuts. I love by the way, I love strawberry and chocolate donuts because it tastes so good. Yeah, so anyway, so let's continue reading. Donuts. Donuts have long been thought of as a blue-collar food, something being eaten by laborers at the start of the workday. Well, of course, people of all classes have enjoyed the occasional donut for centuries, but until recently, donuts have not been thought of as a government. Now, though, donuts are having something of a renaissance amongst connoisseurs and similar food authorities such as food critics. In the last decade, artisan bakers have rediscovered the donut, or donut as some insist on selling it. As a result, donuts have begun to proliferate across America. By the way, proliferate means to multiply or to increase rapidly. That's what I think. Appearing in bakeries and restaurant menus in some of the nation's largest cities, these new donut makers have helped Americans realize that even relatively simple foods can be delicacies. Wait, delicacies? This is a really weird word. I've never encountered this before. Anyway, so delicacy means, it is miniature cuisines. Oh my god. Since they're so there's numerous definitions for this word. I just don't know what to choose from. Yeah, I would choose that it means textures. The new wave of donut makers tends to divide the food into two varieties, cake and yeast donuts. The former are the more familiar to most Americans, the dense, O-shaped confections covered in frosting. The latter are softer and chewer, more like a croissant. Wait. I don't really remember the pronunciation of it, so let me check it.
Croissant.
Croissant, right?
Croissant.
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 Yeah, croissant. Croissant or Danish, both are deep-fried and both are traditionally ring-shaped. The only real difference between them is that the yeast donuts use yeast as a leavening agent, resulting in the aforementioned letter consistency. Well, let me check your memory first. Do you remember what a leavening agent is? Leavening agent is like a replacement of, what should I call it? A chinger. Yeah, it's like some examples of leavening agent. It can be used flour, like the main ingredient in order to cook something. Yeah, that's what I remember anyway. The slightly hip donuts often have creative flavorings not available in older donuts, but the biggest difference is the care that goes into new donuts. Donut makers now are often esteemed chefs and pastry makers who put as much care into a donut as they put into a souffle or biscuit. It goes to show that anything can be a delicacy if it is treated like one. Connoisseurs. Well, first, when I heard of this word the first time, I thought it's some kind of like dinosaur, because like connoisseurs, it sounds so like I don't know. An expert judge in masters of taste. What do you mean? Experts. Yeah. The other's main point is that bakers have been experimenting with new varieties of donuts to try to make the food acceptable to upper class people. Food critics, artisan shouts, care and craftsmanship to them. I am kind of like into minds for two options, A and D, but to two varieties. I think it's D. Okay. According to the passage, the main difference between yeast and cake donuts is their ingredients, the shape, consistency, aforementioned. Lighter consistency, shape, ingredients, craftsmanship. I think it's ingredients. It can be assumed from the passage that a souffle and a biscuit are Yay! I passed this. Finally. Wait, I burned another batch? What is this? Quiz completed. Let's see my progress. I'm currently in 9th graders. So here's drop like this. I know why, but yeah, I just continuously drop from 11th to 9th and to 10th. I really wish that I can reach this level, 12th grade actually. So thank you so much for watching this. See you in the next video. Bye bye.